Top 10 amusement park disasters.
Today we're going to be looking at 10 of the scariest amusement park accidents. This video will make you think twice next time you decide to go on a ride. Stay tuned all the way to number 1 and have a look at one accident that you'll find it hard to believe. But unfortunately, it is a very true event. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. Slingshot at Luna Park, France.
Slingshot.
Have you ever ridden the slingshot? It seems like a fun and safe ride. But wait until you watch this video where one of the ropes of the ride snaps and sends the riders out of control. The incident made the cage bump into a column, breaking the leg of a 24-year-old woman who was inside the ride. The woman and her companion had to wait for an hour, suspended in mid-air until firefighters finally came and pulled them down. The people in charge at Luna Park in southern France said that they had never had an experience like this one. They blamed the incident on the manufacturer, claiming it was a malfunction of the elastic that was never supposed to snap.
What the? So kung di tayo nakaranas ng ganun, please raise your hands and say thank you and clap your hands. Okay.
They even closed the ride for investigation. Can you imagine being on this ride at the moment of the incident? Luckily though, no one died, but I'm sure the two people inside were really scared and will probably think twice before getting on another ride like this one.
But it was horrible! Ba't ako nag-English ngayon?
Number 9. Pendulum, Iraq.
Pendulum.
Alright, not all of the accidents have to do with people who are inside the ride. Sometimes the victims are just in the wrong place at the wrong time. This is exactly what happened back in Nasiriyah, Iraq, back in 2015 when a spectator walked past a moving frisbee in a pendulum-style kind of ride. The speed and strength of the ride sent the man about 6 meters off the platform while the ride just kept going and gaining more speed. Some of the consequences of this incident include a concussion, bruised ribs, and a broken leg. Other than that, the man survived the accident. And to be honest, that's actually quite surprising. I honestly can't imagine what it'd be like to be hit by a ride like this one. And I can't help but wonder what in the world was this man doing here in the first place.
Oo nga naman, anong ginagawa na? Ano ba talagang ginagawa nun dun?
You're supposed to wait for your turn out of the ride area. Alright. Oh nga. He was probably really excited to get on the ride, but I guess he now has to wait a bit longer.
Oh, sakit yan.
Number 8.
Maghintay kasi, maghintay.
The top spin ride, Pakistan. Now, what's scarier than a top spin ride? Falling from the top spin ride is the right answer. The people from Karachi, Pakistan.
Please, lahat ng ride na papakita dito, wala pa akong nakatry. Please, kung sino man nakapag-ride dyan, isama nyo ako.
And can tell you all about it. Back in 2018, a group of unlucky riders fell from a height of 12 meters after a ride malfunction in the Askari amusement park. One schoolgirl died and at least 18 other people were injured by this tragic incident. A lot of visitors did come to help the victims, and they claim the incident happened as a result of overloading the ride, since after all, it was a free one. I guess it's hard to keep control of people when you let them go on a thrilling ride at no cost. The engineers of the park said they could not know for certain the reason of the accident. The park attendants claimed it was the park's fault and asked for it to be shut down for good, even though it had only been open for a month. Askari is Karachi's first amusement park ever. We hope no more incidents like this happen so Pakistani people can enjoy the fun and thrills of going on rides without having to worry about deadly incidents like this one due to negligence. Number 7. The Mindbender, Canada. Back in the mid-80s, an amusement park in Canada became the scenario for the next accident in our list. The name of this ride is the Mindbender, which is a looping roller coaster in Galaxyland at the West Edmonton Mall in Alberta, Canada. The tragedy started when the fourth car of one of the trains derailed and slid backwards, which made it get out of control and ended up hitting a concrete pillar. The impact of the crash made 4 passengers fall from a height of about 7 meters to the floor right below.
7 meters,
3 of the passengers died, while the 4th one was treated for severe injuries. Another 19 people were also hurt by this and had to be taken to a nearby hospital. As a result, park authorities decided to make some changes, including making the train smaller, which in result reduced the capacity of riders that it could hold. After all, the incident was blamed on poor maintenance and design, so it makes sense that they decided to improve those 2 factors after the deadly event. Number 6.
Sasakay pa ba ako?
6. Top spin, China. Oh, and here's another incident that happened at a top spin ride.
Top spin
this
na
video is
naman.
really making me stay away from these things. This time the incident took place
Oo nga, no? Maganda siguro pag ganyan ng mga rides tapos tubig yun sa baba mo. Diba? Parang napaka-exciting naman yata nun, diba?
in a Chinese amusement park, and someone actually has footage of it. This can be a really tough video to watch, so viewer discretion is advised. In this video,
Okay,
you can
I'm
see how
ready.
people are enjoying their ride with no major threat in sight. Suddenly, a girl is seen flying out of her seat. But how come she's the only one going through this? After the incident and some investigation, people came to realize that the poor girl was on a seat with a faulty seatbelt. A closer look at the ride shows the lack of a backup safety system that should prevent riders from fully detaching themselves from the ride in the event of an accident like this one. If these belts are their only safety measure, I'm surprised they've only had one incident. With a ride as strong as the top spin, you'd need more than a few straps to keep people attached to the ride. Number 5.
I think hindi ko ito try ang ganun na. I promise myself na pag sumakay ako ng ganun, ako, wag na.
Mission Space, USA.
Mission Space.
Now let's explore one of the most intense rides at a Disney park. I'm talking about Mission Space, which allows riders to experience what space travels look like and considered one of the most intense rides ever. And sometimes it can be so intense that people end up in a hospital. Today, Mission Space has earned a spot on this list as one of those intense experiences actually ended up in someone losing their life. There was a 4-year-old boy who was quite tall for his age. He passed the height requirements, but the ride was probably a bit too much for him to handle. The kid passed out during the ride and was taken to the hospital where he later died. But actually, he's not the only one to go through this. A year after his death, a middle-aged woman also died after an intense experience in Mission Space, and tons of other
Hindi ko maintindihan!
people have ended up in the emergency room with nausea, dizziness, and chest pain as a result of their time in this controversial ride. I'm not a big fan of amusement parks in the first place, but after hearing about this, I think I'm gonna keep my distance even more. Number 4.
Kung mayroon lang sana akong translator dito, naintindihan ko yun, kaso hindi ko talaga naintindihan. I promised myself.
Wave Swinger, Spain. I always wondered what would happen if the swings of a wave swinger ever came off. I mean, in order for this ride to be safe, those seats need to be properly attached and need to be able to take a lot of weight to stay clear from any incidents.
Okay.
Sadly, in 2007, a woman fell from a wave swinger in Spain. This happened as the 2 chains that were holding her swing snapped off from her ride. She suffered an unfortunate concussion and got 2 broken legs as a result of the impact. The accident was blamed on poor maintenance of the park. The wave swinger is one of the most popular carnival rides ever, which means they've existed for quite a long time by now. I guess that just means you can't expect those chains to work properly for that long. They definitely need some maintenance, so make sure you don't get on rides that are too old unless they've been properly taken care of. Number 3.
Lahat ng rides na pinakita, wala pa. Baka ito, number 3. Next na to. Sigurado. Na-try ko na to.
3. The Disco Dancer, India.
Hindi pa rin!
Working at an amusement park sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? One of the perks of such a cool job is that you can be one of the first people to try new rides, especially during your breaks.
Parang gusto kong gumala dyan. Kahit isang rides lang.
This is what 20 workers at this amusement park decided to do during their
Ay! Familiar tong diskong to. Familiar to. Parang ito yung may nag-viral tapos yung babae na videoan. End of
time when they jumped on this ride called the Disco Dancer. Unfortunately, what was supposed to be a fun and short break ended up in tragedy when the spinning wheel of this ride, which is where riders stand, came down and crashing from a height of about 5 meters above ground. It's not just the height, but the speed and the spinning movement of the ride that turned this into a chaotic moment. One of the workers died while 7 others were injured. This led to the arrest of the park's owner and a manager under charges of negligence that turned into the death of a fellow worker. The Disco Dancer was one of the main attractions of the park, but it had stopped operations and floods damaged it. The workers were doing a test run before opening again to the public. Now it's time for the day's best pick. The picture I have here today is one that shows everyone's biggest fear when it comes to roller coasters. The fear of falling from a high ride down to your death. While the chances of something like this to happen are quite rare, there are still some documented cases of incidents that involve falls as terrible as this one. number 2.
Okay, number 2 na tayo guys. Kung sa 8 na yun, wala pa tayong nakitang na-try natin, baka ito number 2 may kita na kita.
20 meters high drop, USA.
Ayun nga, 20 meters high drop. Sabi ko na nga ba hindi pa eh. Kahit dito hindi ko pa na-try. Kahit sabi natin sana sinabi na lang yung roller coaster.
One of the accidents at the top of this list is the very sad story of a woman who fell from more than 20 meters down to her death.
Grabe yung taas. So ito ba yung standard na yung roller
The
coaster?
unfortunate incident happened at the Six Flags over Texas Park in Arlington. She fell down to her death after the ride's first descent. The 52-year-old woman was not properly strapped to the ride, which made her slip out of the vehicle while her children were watching. Her daughter and son desperately wanted to jump out of the ride and get help for their mom as soon as the ride came to a full stop. Other park visitors claim that the lady had expressed some safety concerns prior to starting the ride. They say she felt that she was not properly secured as the coaster was about to take off. There's a woman who was in line and witnessed the terrible accident. She says that everyone's belt clicked 3 times while the victim's only clicked once. She asked if this was okay and the staff said yes, and no wonder she fell off. I guess this is a good lesson for staff at amusement parks. Always listen to the riders and never underestimate their safety concerns.
Number 1, pinaka nakatakot na rides. And I hope sana ito na-try ko na to. Okay lang kahit hindi. Sana may balang araw may dadala sa akin kung saan rides.
1. Haunted Castle at Six Flags Great Adventure, USA.
Haunted Castle, okay.
I can tell you that rides today are safer than ever. Why is that? Because park owners and managers have learned from mistakes from the past to make the safest rides we have today. At least most of them do, hopefully. Let me tell you though, even though the 80s seem like a lot of fun, they definitely don't look like the best years for amusement parks. So many incidents happened in this decade, including the one at the top of our list, a fire at the Haunted Castle in Six Flags Great Adventure. The fire started on the evening of May 11th, 1984, and it was fanned by the air conditioning system while 29 visitors were inside the attraction. An eyewitness claimed she saw the fire as she walked inside, but she thought it was part of the experience. It all changed when people started yelling, "Fire," and they had to evacuate. Unfortunately, a group of 8 teenagers died while one of their friends survived and was taken to a park nearby to calm down and receive proper medical attention. Other survivors had to be treated for smoke inhalation. Later investigations claimed to uncover that the building didn't have proper permits, a certificate of occupancy, or even fire and smoke detectors. This tragic event made neighboring similar attractions to be shut down and be inspected before continuing operations. While it's very sad, I guess it takes a terrible event like this for people to take safety matters a bit more seriously. And rest in peace the people who have lost their lives because of it. Which of these do you think is the scariest, and what's the scariest amusement park experience you've had? Let us know in the comment section below. And that's our video for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you all next time. Later, everybody.
So here you go, the top 10 amusement park disasters. So I hope you like the video. Hindi ko alam ba't nag-English ako. Okay, please, sana nagustuhan niyo yung video. At kung nagustuhan niyo man, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And have fun. Leave a comment and have fun. So thank you. I love you. Bye-bye. That was the saddest epic moment.